of people aren't gonna like this, but these are the top 10 best characters in your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, ranked from worst to best. This show had some peak writing and some peak characters, but we gotta get to the bottom of which one is on top, because it's my list. I can't miss. Gotta give an honorable mention to this crew of criminals, Chameleon, Unicorn, and Rhino. But I really love how they're planting the seeds for Rhino and how honorable he really is. And Unicorn was a fun villain. I'm gonna need more Chameleon though. Honorable mentions to everyone involved in the Oscorp internship, because they're all gonna turn into heroes and villains at some point. Just like Carla Connor is gonna be the Lizard, and this Mr. Whitman here is gonna be the Wizard. But I gotta see more. Finally, I gotta mention Pearl. Not only is she a solid love interest to both Lonnie and Peter, she's actually integral to the plot, and is such a sweet girl who doesn't deserve any of this. And she's Filipino. Shout out to all my kuyas out there. But kicking off the list, I got the Sorcerer Supreme himself, Doctor Strange. And I know, woo, we barely saw him. He was only in the first and last episode. Yes, but that's just how much of an impact he made. Plus, we wouldn't be in this mess if it wasn't for him. Why are you traveling back in time? Take this motherfucker back to space. But I really love his relationship with Peter in this show, and I hope the MCU takes notes. From there, I gotta go with Daredevil. And again, I know, I'm only gonna be judging him off of this one season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, so that's literally 2 scenes. If I wanted to base this off of everything he's done in the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, yeah, he would probably be number 1. But I don't think that's fair to this show. Plus, he beat the dog shit out of Peter in this show. Either way, it's my list, and this shit means something to me, so he belongs here. Next up, I'm gonna go with Matt Gargan, the Scorpion, which just might be my favorite interpretation in this or the 90s show. I just love how he's a fucking psychopath. And he's a Latino araña. Too bad he got mejor. But dog, he was truly intimidating and scary. When he stabbed that one dude and said I brought a knife to a gunfight, that's all motherfucking more. From there, I gotta go with Harry. And I really love what they did with Harry in this show. Making him a very famous social media influencer, yet not having anything at home to show for it, is just a great, refreshing way to look at Harry Osborn. Plus, I love how he turns into Peter's guy in the chair. And I just love how he just wants friends. That's all Harry wants. It looks like he's got that with Nico, who I got up next. Who, outside of Ned Leeds in the movies, even though that's really Genki, not Ned Leeds, is probably my favorite friend for Spider-Man. It also helps that this is Nico fucking Minoru, and she gonna have them powers soon. But I genuinely really fucked with her character. She's one of the boys and she's chill. I'm putting my spiteful king next to Dr. Otto Octavius. You know I love my glorious king Alfred Molina, but he's definitely more of a combination between Lizard and Scorpion. But this is who Otto is. A man who wants and deserves respect. Generational hater who thinks his mind is above the rest. That breakout scene he has, the fact that he's the true genius behind Oscorp, and the real reason all these criminals are getting high-tech weapons, I can't wait for them to give him his tentacles. He's gonna have 8 arms? You have 8 metal arms, dude? That's awesome. But you already know this right here means something to me. I gotta go with Aunt May next. May, stay with me, May. Don't go to the light. You know, there's definitely a lot of reasons why I think Aunt May is one of the top tier characters in this show. Mommy! Not only is she a great mentor and mother figure to Peter Parker, Mommy! But she's always there when Peter needs him the most, providing him with not only love, but guidance, because you're my boy. I believe there's a hero in all of us. Oh yeah, and she's thick as fuck. But into our top 3 with number 3, I gotta go with Norman Osborn, because it's Coleman fucking Domingo. Spider-Man, thank you for coming in today. Not only does Coleman Domingo have a generational voice, he's one of the greatest working actors today. And he just fits Norman Osborn perfectly, because he's teetering the line between hero and villain in this show, and Coleman Domingo is just eating up that charming yet villainous persona for this version of Norman Osborn. Like, he genuinely gives Peter some pretty great advice, but also some not so great advice. That's why I love With Great Power Comes Great Respect so much, because you think it's a simple change on the surface, but this is exactly something that Norman Osborn would say, because it's something that he actually would believe. Such clever writing in the show. I cannot wait for him to become the Goblin, but not quite yet. But in second place, you heard that right. Second place? I got Peter Parker Spider-Man. I really love what they did with this version of Peter. I mean, it's essentially Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man, but flipped on its head a little bit. He's still going through the same character arc and trying to believe and become that superhero that we can all see as a beacon of hope, while still trying to provide for everyone he loves and protect his city. I love him a lot. At the end of the day, he's a Peter Parker Spider-Man. While yes, he's based on the MCU version, which is a lot more quirky, John Hughesy, he still has the core belief system of what Spider-Man represents, being a good fucking person and doing the right thing no matter what. And he'll always be top 2 for that. But in first place, hands down for me personally, I gotta go with my dog Lonnie Lincoln Tombstone, because what they were able to accomplish with him in this show is nothing short of a miracle. So clever. When I first heard they were making Lonnie Lincoln the same age as Spider-Man, I was like, what? And when you see him for the first time as a jock, you're like, oh, here we go, a Flash Thompson. But they flip it on its head, and you can't help but love this guy. He honestly embodies everything that you want to be as Spider-Man. He's a good fucking person and does the right thing no matter what. He even sacrifices himself on multiple occasions in the show. Shit, he stopped Spider-Man from killing Scorpion. He's Tobey Maguire in this scenario. That's powerful stuff right there. Especially when you couple that with the fact that the only reason he's going to that school and playing football is to try to provide for his family. When all that's taken away, all he has left is this game. I wish he would take his own advice. But this team up right here really meant something to me. That's why Lonnie's number 1. Acknowledge him.